$6 billion. Emergency relief. Israel needs six billion more dollars on top of all the other money. Considering in 2 months they're going to get their $3.8 billion, 2.5. Yeah, 2 months. November or something, so December something, January. By this day in January, they should have their $3.8 billion cash infusion that they get every year. Cash money. And now, Trump just yesterday, I believe, is it yesterday that he approved it, or is it maybe the day before? But yeah, $6 billion being approved as emergency relief funds. I mean, it's not like Israel was attacked. It's not like, I can't even think of a reasonable reason. Look at this old world building. It's fucking amazing. Just in the middle of nowhere like this. Just old world buildings. It's also fascinating. Like, can you imagine what the fuck it looked like in 1900? Before the World War bombing campaigns, before the World War destruction events. God, it just feels like I'm missing something. It feels like, always feeling like you were born in the wrong era. I remember looking at the Batman Beyond show and being like, isn't it weird how that show looks like it's the old world that we're shown, but with modern convenience? Like, it's all just fucking weird. My lunch break put out yet another video. Not even halfway. I was watching it this morning. It literally, he'll be talking about places, but it's the same fucking story over and over again. It's like me. If you're watching me, you're probably going to hear something you've heard before. And the same thing there. Like, what is going on? How does anybody still believe this? He puts it in a really great way where he always talks about Donkey Inc. And it's so true. Like, I shared the video on my Facebook, and I was like, I want to see anybody debate, debunk anything in this video. And you really don't see that. You don't see the debunk videos for this. Like, you'll see bullshit debunk videos for 200 proofs the earth isn't round, but it's all just math and in manipulatable bullshit. It's not like anything actually gets addressed in those debunk videos. But with these, there's not even debunk videos. Like, it's shocking. It's shocking how obvious and easy it is to see. Like, what? How do you explain it otherwise? You can't be dumb enough to believe that they were building the cathedrals and the churches and all that shit, usually within a year or two, back in the day. Like, lies. I'm trying to think of something that isn't lies. Like, what exists in our narrative that isn't a lie? And I'm not confident in saying any of it. And that you would be is strange. Yo. Okay. I was just saying we forgot to pack him practice clothes.
It's too closer to his bed.
Oh, well, he didn't think so.
Pretty sure I put him in his.
Okie dokie. Yeah. I still don't understand how it's happening outside of school. Okay, so again, if our kid committed crime with somebody they went to school with, would it be the school's responsibility to do it? Yeah, it is. Oh, Jesus. I mean, I'm all about freedom of speech, but it was threatening. What is he talking about? So we have to sit there and listen to all of her bullshit and sit there and try to find, because I'm sure there's stuff that is worse. Right. So I don't understand. Alrighty. Maybe you should try doing the coach first, because you're going to be all riled up and riled. Yeah, do that first, because you're going to be laser focused after that. Do the other. You're going to love you tomorrow. Interesting. Kids dealing with similar shit that I do. Fans. Fans who can't get at him. Can't have him, so they go crazy. Did you guys see my short this morning? You know, the nothing to see here. Still going, nothing to see. Look at how it's pulling the clouds apart. I always think that's so telling that something else is going on, because that's not what happens with real clouds. And you can see that there are chemtrails leading into these areas. They were clearly sprayed to bejesus. But just don't worry about it. Don't you fucking worry about it. You dumb goyim. Sit there, shut up, do what you're told. Don't ask questions. Be happy with what you have. Be happy with what you get. Don't you love the Bible telling you that one all the time? $6 billion given to Israel. Do you think, it's insane to think, like, didn't we just have a shutdown? Isn't the whole SNAP benefits is a big deal, and Donald Trump's having a party the same night? Celebrate, like, isn't it fucking... Is that's okay? We $6 billion that we just gave to Israel because of an emergency that I have no idea what the fuck what the emergency is? What emergency could they possibly be talking about? Literally, nothing has happened. The Iran story sure did go quietly. What happened to Iran fighting back? I was so looking forward to Iran causing as much damage as possible. And yet, nope, nothing. Yeah, that's not how it works, buddy. That's not how things work. Fucking nuts. These goddamn pedophiles are just everywhere. And they're manipulating everything. And it's all make life as bad as it. I remember when all these trees had rust leaves on them. Now everything fell down in the last couple days. Isn't it weird? Who knows? Oh, because that's nothing to see. Nothing to see here. There's that trail behind the clouds. Nothing to see. Oh, it doesn't exist here yet. So, what the fuck? Plane must have just flown up straight up and then started flying, right? Because why would the chemtrail just start out of nowhere? Oh look, here we go, coming back the other way. It's coming back around again. Nothing to see here though, guys. Nothing to see here. That's all nothing to see. It looks like somebody tried to erase it but didn't do a good job. Yep, I've lost my mind. That's for sure. Why would I ever have a problem with giving Israel $6 billion a couple days after the shutdown because we couldn't afford to pay the government? Well, that's crazy. Why would I think we should kill pedos? This piece of shit obviously doesn't think we should kill pedos. Obviously, this piece of shit is a pedo. Obviously, this piece of shit is an Israeli. I don't know how else to see it or look at it. But anybody that takes issue with what I'm doing, I mean, if you take issue with what I'm doing, that means you support what I'm against. And considering I think we should kill pedos and overthrow the Jays that control, the friars that control the narrative. You must support those things. That's all I can reckon. And, especially considering you can't actually engage in any of this debate intelligently, I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to do. Thank you, I guess. Thank you for providing the example of what I'm always talking about. Thank you for being fucking stupid. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how else to see it. You're fucking stupid. Look at that bridge. Look at how ornate that bridge is in the hood. Just some random little bullshit bridge in the middle of the hood. 25-inch meadows caught a week in Israel, and it's the size of fucking New Jersey. You guys, who caught the 25 pedos? Do you guys see how many pedos keep getting caught here? How many of the pedophile hunters are actually catching Israelis here? I shared one today. The guy was talking about, he asked her if she was Jewish because, and he sort of, the hunter was like, why? Because if she was a non-Jew, you wouldn't touch her. And he was like, well, kind of. And then it wasn't looked into anymore. Like he didn't get him to elaborate. But what he was talking about was that if the girl was a goyim, she's just trash. It doesn't matter. But if she's chosen, then if he rapes her, she belongs to him. That's how they believe things work. Actual, the majority of pedos being caught here and in Canada is from India. Yeah, okay, buddy. I don't think you're Indian. And nobody said anything about majority. Do you see how stupid these people are? They have to edit the argument so they can argue, right? They see you say things you didn't say so that they actually have something that they can use, because otherwise they wouldn't have anything else to say. They couldn't say anything, and especially since they're not going to address the Israeli aspect of things. You know, they just do this bullshit all the time where they it's like they don't hear what you're saying. You know, it's very, very typical. You know, this is I mean, I keep seeing people, like, it's amazing to me, you know. 6 years ago, 10 years ago, I couldn't imagine going through my feed and seeing so many different people speaking out, like, on the verge of understanding what it is, right? Everybody's, like, on the verge of understanding that it's not Israel. Israel is just a construct. Israel is just some bullshit. They tell us Israel exists, and we go, okay, Israel exists. You guys say it's from here to here? Okay, it's from there to there. It's not until people realize it's the inhabitants. It's the cult that is behind all of it. And when you understand that it's the cult, it's not it's not any of the distractions they provide. It's the cult itself. It's the cult. It's not some bullshit one way or another. It's the fucking cult. They are the problem. And you know, at the end of the day, this has turned into a situation where I'm the biggest advocate. I'm the loudest voice that I know of for the poor Jewish children. It's the Jewish children that are the ones that are the biggest victims here. You know, the Jewish children are the ones that are being victimized and being made into the disgusting monsters that you know, that continue to pull off the genocide, to commit the genocide, that continue to you know, rape everyone top to bottom. Like, it doesn't even matter, right? It's not just us, but them. And the Bottom of Darkness article is the key. The Bottom of Darkness article is it's the thing that gives the answer. People ask why. People ask how. How do you have such a disgusting group of people that, what are you doing, moron? Go. I can't turn until you do. I got a cop behind me. Looks like he's gonna give me some bullshit, but I doubt it. I hope he fucks with me. I got nothing wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong. Oh, he turned off. Damn, I was hoping he was gonna come after me. Oh yeah, nothing I'm saying is factual. You gotta love that. Again, this is the only thing these dumb Jays can do. This is the only way they know how to argue. Is through lying, is through denial, is through name calling. You're crazy. You're crazy. Tell me one thing I'm getting wrong. Instead of saying blanket dumbass things to, I guess you're talking to the commenters, because it's funny how many of these matter. Oh, look. That was weird. You can see nothing has changed, says good old fucking piece of shit Randall. We know good old Randall is busy looking up kids. Because he's not opposed to it. He definitely doesn't oppose genocide. He definitely doesn't oppose pedophilia. He just mad because Guy Williams is talking about it. Wah, wah. Guy Williams, why are you always talking about things? Wah, 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 wah. Typical Talmud reading pedophile coward liars. That's what it is. And they won't say anything up to the like, look, again, look at this shit. This man needs to be locked up in an insane asylum. For what? For knowing shit? Like this, they can't even help but do what I say they're gonna do. Literally the only argument they ever have is that's crazy. You're crazy. If you talk about these things, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're so crazy. What are you doing seeing the truth? You're crazy. What are you doing talking about things you're not supposed to talk about? You're crazy. You think we should kill pedophiles? You're crazy. You think we should eliminate the Fryer control scheme? You're crazy. Look at this shit. Schizophrenic. Yup, I'm a schizophrenic. Same dumb Fryer tactics. This is literally what act.il and their secure community network tells them to say. This is how they've been taught to respond, to engage in anytime they're challenged, anytime their bullshit is being exposed. It's the same shit over and over again, and they're too dumb to know they're yours. But you know, when English isn't your first language, when you speak Yiddish, then of course English, those little things in English can be difficult. Usually for foreigners, things like your, there, you know, that shit's difficult for them. But they're too stupid. They're proudly stupid. Yup, I am schizophrenic. This is all they can come up with. These fucking disgusting pedos. You never have a point or anything. All you do is rant. Oh, they erased it. The coward erased the comment before I could read it all. He's talking to people who already know the truth. Yep. Well, the differences in the yours is quite stupid. Oh, yeah. The difference in words is stupid. Thinking that words would be different or spelled differently or have different meanings. We should all just be like blah, 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 blah. And then you guys understand what's being said because you respond with blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, ha, 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 blah, 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 blah. Because words don't matter. All you ever talk about is Fryer hating. No, that's not all I ever talk about. But it's very, very prominent and very much a foundation of my message. And it's not racism because they're not a race, you dumb fuck. God, I love it. This would be so much more difficult if these pieces of shit weren't here. If there weren't pieces of shit here making the points. That's racist. You're racist. If you think we should stop their fucking cult bullshit, you're racist. There's not a lot of languages. Shut the fuck up. You don't know shit. You're a dumbass. Nobody cares about what you have to say. Oh, look, I have 0 people watching me right now. I don't know how all these people are commenting, but I have 0 people watching. The World's Fair temporary structures they built in 6 months, except for the couple of buildings that still exist today. Those happen to be, forever buildings. But the rest of it was built for temporary construction, and it's an exaggeration. It's usually a year or 2. You're a goddamn mark. Excuse me, you're a goddamn... Yep, I'm a mark. Like, look at this shit. I just... This is the best that they're ever going to come up with. They think it's smart and proving me they're wrong yours. Actually, what the... Oh, we're back. Oh, we're back. crybabies, man. Just a bunch of crybaby nonsense. It's all, you know, it's all their efforts to hide in the light. How else do you hide in the light like this? How else do you do what these pieces of shit do without any sort of opposition? It's because they're insane. It's because they have you completely brainwashed into, all you dumbass Christians out there. I mean, it's embarrassing how stupid you are. You don't even think you're number one in your own shit. Oh. Yeah. Just think about this. This Daniel character has literally been on my nuts and begging me for attention for like a year plus. Usually getting ignored. How many of you would do that? Take it off speaker.
Huh?
Take it off speaker.
It's not a call.
Oh, well, still, I mean, oh,
You cleared your throat, so I thought you were about to say
oh,
something.
no.
Why did we do?
No. I thought you were talking to somebody.
No, I'm waiting for a call back.
Oh, oh yes.
And I talked to the assistant at Nick's. She was like, that is what the athletic director told me. She was like, oh, no. If that's the case, then we're fixing this right now. Tell him not to stress out.
Cool.
She's making some calls.
Cool. Alan, come on. Connecting. Begging for attention. I'm begging for attention. I love this argument. If I'm begging for attention, then why don't I just talk about Jesus? Why don't I just tell people to believe in Jesus? Why don't I do the things that are the proven attention getters and not the things that are proven, hindrances? Everybody knows you're not supposed to talk about the friars. So if it's just about getting attention, then why wouldn't I do what it takes to get attention? And if I was looking for attention, why wouldn't I relish your attention? Why would I just ignore you most of the time? It's this kind of stupidity that just it's amazing how these Jews think that they're so smart. They think that what they're doing is you can't see through it. When the reality is, I mean, they're just as dumb as can be. You know, these these cowardly attempts to try to make me look bad for risking it all and going live to talk about it. And then they hang on every word I say, watch every video I make, will sit here for hours and hours on end, begging for my attention the whole time. Like, and the one thing that they won't do is actually address what's being said, is actually debunk any of the things being said. Oh, we have somebody with the Mossad who says smoke more. Right, because there's an argument from Matitza Bupe pedophiles. You know, these are pedophiles. The Mossad is a group of pedophiles. And the reason that they continue to operate the way they do is, again, because they're all victims. They were all victims and victimizers at some point in their life when they were young. And they're not gonna, they can't deny, they can't debunk this. They can't deny any of it. This is, you know, not only is Matitza Bupe and Brit Malah among the number one, the highest ranking mitzvahs, commandments in their cult. You have what's done to all of the males in that cult, but then you have the even bigger ritual sexual abuse that they all do. Right? The ritual sexual abuse that is done to the children in Israel, all across Israel, top to bottom, left to right, all sex, all different divisions. You know, from the psychopathic Ashkenazis to the Hasidiotics to the fucking seculars, all of them. It's in all of their communities. Yeah, look at this. Look at the person that's claiming to be the Messiah. So you can, at the very least, that this fake profile is a friar. At the very least, they're a friar. Let's see. Joined 5 years ago with 56 subscribers. You would think they'd be better then, right? But this person doesn't actually deny, address anything. So there's nothing I'm saying that's wrong. And the one thing you'll see consistently, or not see, is that when these things are brought up, these proud friars, they don't come in and say, you're right, these are horrible practices. We as friars need to get together and eliminate these practices from happening. This makes us look bad. This is horrible. I can't believe we do this. You are lying. Am I? Which part am I lying about there, you dumb friar? Which part? Is it the Matitza Bupe part? Is that a lie? I made up that word. Is that what it is? Or is it the bottom of darkness? Which Israel Hayom, Sheldon Adelson's baby, and we know Sheldon Adelson the Adelsons control the president. Obviously Sheldon's dead, but Miriam is still in control. But it's the bottom of darkness was a Israel Hayom article. Everything. Yep. See, we have these blanket statements that really don't act. So Matitza Bupe isn't real. Is that what you're saying? I would love to hear how you think Matitza Bupe isn't real. Yeah, Bob. What? Cool. I'm busy. Cool. I'm busy. Look at this shit. We control your mother. She's dead, dumbass. See how desperate this dumbass is? We control your mother. Duh. Why do Americans think that a man is a woman? No. Let's go back to you raping children. Let's go back to Matitza Bupe. It's hard to debate a war that has gone on for hundreds of years, or so you think. What war are you talking about? Yeah, and seen me in so long. Well, welcome back. Yep, all day smoking that meth. Because instead of being like, man, yeah, these pedophiles are disgusting, we need to do something about it, you want to bring up dumb shit. Just like the Mossad coward profile. Cowardly piece of shit. I'm not a child. I'm not a woman. So they're not going to, they can't stand up to me like they normally would. They're not tough like they would normally be. But they're definitely not educated, right? Why do you not go back to Europe? See? Isn't that weird how this coward refuses to engage? Said I was lying, and then when asked to elaborate, they got nothing to say. Isn't that strange how that works every time? Isn't it amazing? Here we go back to Americans can't tell what a woman is, especially if we're looking at one of you nasty friars. Isn't it the friars that like to dress up in women's lingerie? I mean, you can literally find thousands of pictures of Israeli soldiers, and I say soldiers limitedly because these aren't tough people. These are cowards who are tough with guns and body armor after the place has been bombed, and they know that the victims are women and children. But there are endless photographs of Israeli soldiers going into the homes of the Palestinians, finding the woman's lingerie and putting it on over their fatigues, and then taking pictures. Because Israelis know what a woman is. Israeli knows what a man is. How do you explain that? How about the fact that Mustache Man supposedly was upset about all of the trans stuff and whatnot that was, forget the guy's name, but he's a really prominent friar. What about that part? Your president had a trans party. LOL. Yeah, but our president isn't a child rapist. Well, yes, it is. Yeah, our president has raped children alongside your buddy Bibby. Bibby is a pedophile. Bibby is as bad as it gets. Bibby is one of the worst pieces of shits in the world. Outdone, though, by Ben Gvir. Because Itmar Ben Gvir is just a closet, this dude, this dude's raping boys left and right. And then look at the latest videos coming out about the Israeli soldiers who were guilty of raping Palestinians being treated like heroes. The one dude, probably one of the ugliest human beings I've ever seen. At first, he was going around in a mask, but he was getting so much praise and so much, support by the friars that he ends up taking the mask off to show his atrocious, ugly face. Like it's shocking. And this dude is getting applause and standing ovations and shit in all of his everything that happens with, everywhere he goes, any sort of Knesset meetings or whatever. He's being treated like a hero, while the whistleblower who released the video showing the rape, she was arrested. And trans party was dual citizenship with Israel. Exactly. The friars absolutely control Trump. Works out great for Germany, LOL. What a dumbass. Like, see, and this is one of these, this isn't even, this is one of these profiles where they're claiming they've been here for 5 years and they have 56 subscribers. The Mossad. This is the best the Mossad can do. This is team Jorge. This is act.il. This is all the bullshit, man. This is what I'm telling you. These are inbred pieces of shit. They're stupid as fuck. We should not be losing to them. But because they have this one little piece, the religious piece, they're able to stay in power. Thing is, that's falling apart. Look at how the coward is constantly running away from the truth. Claimed I was lying, but then when I talked about knowing what we're, Matitza Bapay, the Mick, well, not the Brit Malaz and all that. And then, of course, the mikvahs, because they're all so gay, they think women's vaginas are disgusting. But the child rape thing is such a huge problem because it's the backbone of all of this, right? The person behind the Mossad profile was raped as a child. As a young child, they were ritualistically raped by their elders, by their parents, by their relatives. Probably had a shofar stuck inside them. And they were told that this was done to them because they were chosen, because they're so special, because all this shit. And then when they became 13, when they became a man at 13, they were forced to rape other children to complete that circuit. So now you have these psychopaths running around, compassionless, making jokes about killing people and genocide and shit, denying pedophilia, perpetuating it. When you look at Hollywood, it's all them. Americans can't function without our tech. This is the kind of shit that they always say because they don't have any reality behind it. Anybody that's given as much money as Israel's been given, not just by us, but by everybody. That $3.8 billion a year turns into about 15 billion shekels after the conversion. And, the U.S. gives them 3.8, Canada gives them 2, Australia gives them 1.2, and then there's a countless list of others, right? But I even asked AI, tell me how Israel benefits from the U.S. benefits from its relationship with Israel. Tell me how they are an ally of ours. And once, you get past this bullshit, unprovable sort of just myth of, they share technology and strategy and just hearsay bullshit. Even AI said, let me just see this real quick. Let me just read it to you just so we have it. We have it. You guys need to read what AI actually said. When I said, give me concrete examples of how Israel has helped the United States, AI said, I understand you're looking for examples of Israel helping the U.S. I should have said, I don't have concrete examples to share. Would you like to discuss U.S.-Israel relations or explore a different topic? I said, so you're saying no concrete examples of Israel helping the U.S.? There are no concrete examples of Israel helping the U.S.? Said, that's correct. I couldn't find concrete examples of Israel helping the U.S. that meet your criteria. Meaning outside of, the technology, they're sharing technology. They share secrets with us. Right? It's insane. Christianity is full of pedophilia. What's wrong with you? And Christianity is just a Jewish fairy tale. How you don't understand that is so crazy. Like in any other conversation, you would readily admit that Jesus was a Jew. You wouldn't have a problem saying that. That's what it says. But because you know that's going to make my argument, you'll avoid it. They compromised AI. If they compromised it, then it would have said something good. They would have come up with something. The fact that AI couldn't come up with one concrete example of how Israel has helped the United States other than providing technology, that is so telling. That is so goddamn telling. You want to know what AI had to say about Team Jorge? Listen to this. Team Jorge is a secretive Israeli cyber mercenary group specialized in election disruption and influence operation, led by Tal Hanan, also known as Jorge. The group has been involved in manipulating over 30 national level elections worldwide through hacking, disinformation campaigns, and sabotage. Their primary tool, Advanced Impact Media Solutions, automates control of thousands of fake social media profiles to spread misinformation and influence public opinion. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. And then when I kept pressing it, and I kept saying, what are you talking about, AI? Isn't AI opposed to child rape? Doesn't AI get sick of this bullshit? And I said, why do you keep repeating the same old, would you like to talk about U.S.-Israel relations when that's what I'm already talking about? Why do you, I said, that didn't answer the question. Again, why do you keep repeating the same nothing BS? You know what AI said? AI said, to give you more relevant responses, I may remember details you share with me. You can view or delete them in settings. If there is something you would like me to add or remove from my memory, you can tell me to remember it or forget it. Well, if you keep asking these questions, I'm going to remember it. I'm going to tell. Oh, look. Cowardly the Mossad left. The Mossad character left. Because of what a dumb piece of shit he knew he was. I keep saying I'm going to talk to AI live. I keep meaning to, but then I forget. This is, out of any of the trolls that have come through in recent memory, I appreciate that one more than any other ones. Because this is somebody that's literally, what you would expect. Like if you say, well, who is a proud Israeli, who is a proud friar, you would expect that the person that makes the fake The Mossad profile with 56 subscribers, you would think that would be, that would be them. And so somebody that's proud enough of their cult status that they would make that fake profile, that's the ultimate example of somebody that should be able to engage, that should be able to answer questions, that should be able to do anything other than go, you're lying. Well, you're crazy. You're lying. You're crazy. Why are you talking about this? Why are you saying what you're saying? You're not supposed to say these things. You're a goyim. Goyim are supposed to say these things. But what about you? What about your president? Well, you don't know what the difference between a man and a woman is. Notice how uncomfortable that profile got as soon as I started asking about the Israeli soldiers dressing in women's clothing and taking pictures of themselves, being all over the web. Notice how quickly they ran away, like the cowards they are, because I'm not a child, because I'm not a poor old woman because there's no Mossad standing behind me or IDF standing behind me with a machine gun, ready to arrest me, ready to punish me for saying these things. So let's just see. Israeli soldiers in women's underwear. Yeah. Just picture after picture. These are Israeli soldiers, right? Israeli soldiers. Oh, look, they put on all. Oh, isn't that funny? They put on all those dresses. Isn't that funny? Israeli soldiers don women's lingerie during occupied West Bank raids. Israeli soldiers play with Gaza women's underwear in online posts. Video shows IDF reservists dancing in women's lingerie found in Bethlehem. IDF soldier in women's lingerie sparks debate on military conduct. The military machismo of Israeli soldiers in Gaza will rear its ugly head at home. What that means. The military machismo. You know that machismo. Female sex offenders in the in the Gaza genocide. What's that? Fascinated by female sex offenders, man. Because as a female, she can get laid anytime she wants to. She could be as ugly as fuck. It doesn't matter. She can get laid whenever she wants to because she's a female and guys are fucking stupid. They don't have to have permission if she's not making money from it. A female Israeli soldier guards two teenage Palestinian boys who have been abducted and stripped to their underwear by the Israeli military in Gaza. She forces the two boys to dance around in their underwear while she records a video of them and laughs. Two female Israeli soldiers capture a teenage Palestinian boy in Gaza and strip him to his underwear. They bind his hands behind his back, blindfold him, and pose on either side of him for a social media photo. The woman on his right pouts for the camera while making a gun sign with her fingers above the boy's head. Two teenage Palestinian boys, aged 16 and 17, are abducted by the Israeli military from an aid distribution center in Gaza. They are transferred to detention centers in Israel, where female soldiers strip them naked and then photograph them, play with their genitals, and tie them to the floor and straddle them. One boy says that the experience left him wanting to die. That's fucking insane. These cases shine a light on the phenomenon of the female sex offender with sadistic tendencies who targets underage boys. When many people think of gender roles in the context of sexual violence, they do not think of females as proprietors or males as victims. However, perpetuated sexual abuse of male victims, including underage male victims, can and does happen. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Yep, I don't have any viewers, but somehow I still have commenters. and I have 3 likes because that's how shit works.
Oh yeah, no.
Everybody has more likes than viewers, right? It's pretty fucking crazy. This has occurred in a radicalized context of a white woman targeting in a radicalized context of white women targeting brown boys. This phenomenon previously reared its head during the U.S.-British occupation of Iraq. U.S. military investigators documented a case where female U.S. soldiers photographed and laughed at 2 naked underage Iraqi boys. I didn't know they were underage. That part wasn't talked about. It's a glitch in YouTube right now with the count. Well, it would seem like it, but if you're familiar with my page and how it works, this is a constant glitch. I ask you guys to share it. You know, when you're when you're experiencing something you haven't experienced before, when you're experiencing censorship on a level that you haven't seen it before, that should be a red flag or a green flag. You know, this is the thing you should be sharing. This is the thing they're so scared of. They're doing different shit to it. You know, and the one thing that really scares them the most about me is the fact that I'm not some dumbass Christian Catholic like your Nick Fuentes, your Ian Carrolls. Because at the end of the day, you know, no matter what they say, they're still telling you to fall for like the first conspiracy, you know. And they just refuse to acknowledge this idea that it's all Jewish fairy tale. And the thing is too, when you're talking about a Nick Fuentes or an Ian Carroll, well, they definitely don't bring up Tartaria. And at this point, I don't know how the Tartarian narrative, not necessarily Tartaria, but what it segues into. If you're not questioning things like that, like if I say to Ian Carroll or Nick Fuentes, do you honestly think they built the Pentagon in 14 months? 15 if you include planning. 14 months over 2 winters in 1941 to 1943. You really think that we were capable of doing that shit? And how come if we could do that in 14 months back then, how come we're not at, you know, Empire State Building in a year? You know, 400, just under 400 days. Empire State Building, 1931, I believe. Built in 400 days. Agree the discussion isn't even a thing about elites potentially changing history. Ever. They never seem to talk about it. And the problem with that is, and this is the contradiction that I've seen from the beginning of the Tartarian narrative, is that once you accept the idea and you're like, no, dude, there's been a reset. Well, if you accept the idea of a reset, then why do you still believe in Christianity? Do you not understand that? Like it's just, I don't know, man. It just goes like you pick your thing, pick your event, pick your shooting, pick your pick whatever you. They're all the same bullshit. They definitely don't stand up to scrutiny. You know, it's It's shocking. It's shocking. And things that you wouldn't even expect. Like things that are in your head and you're like, yeah, it happened like this. And I remember it. I watched it happen. I remember feeling it and experiencing and blah, blah, blah. Then go back and read the fucking narrative that you're given. Read what they tell you. Bitch. Like, it's just, it's shocking. It's fucking shocking. And again, look at the comment section. Look at how instead of it being real people who are, you know, like, holy shit, this, that, or the other, they're doing everything they can to try to change the subject. Why? If you want to talk about completely different things, why don't you just do your own live feed? That, you know, especially since it's so easy, you could just do it, and you do it better than me, and you'll make a gazillion, you know, you get to be that position where YouTube's paying you, can make good money from it. You're so good and smart. That's what you should do. But you see this, you know, instead of any sort of intelligent opposition, it's just the same crybaby bullshit. Day after day after day. The same Israeli crybaby inbred stupidity. Well, if you open up the books in Israel, you demonize Israel. Duh. Like they're so stupid. They're so stupid. And people are just, it's amazing how angrily and vehemently people will defend their own stupidity. And ignorantly. They're ignorant. They don't know. Like all of you Christians, you don't know shit about your Bible. You know? You know, it's all fucking crazy. It's all coming to fruition. What is? Definitely not the Bible. The Bible is not at all true. Like it's just, you know, ask yourself who could possibly, who are we talking about? The same type of people that can bomb children and pass laws to stop people from being able to eat. I mean, I knew that shit wasn't gonna fly, you know. You knew it was all just distraction bullshit. And while all of that's going on, Israel is violating the ceasefire and all this other shit, but nobody's talking about it. It worked well, but they're not going to do that. They're not going to stop the payments because the government's not getting along, so then we have to suffer for it. You know, I know there was a couple of people that were affected. There was a portion of the people that were affected for like a day or two. But that's not. That's fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts. It's all nuts. It's time, guys. It's fucking time before it gets there. Before we get to the next 29, depression. You know. Until we get, we don't want to get to that point. We don't want to let them get us to the point where, you know, trains are coming. That the robot dogs are walking down the street, rounding everybody up. This is a weird spot, man.
Oh, it was.
We need to move forward.
Yeah, no, she was
You know,
serious. No, no, no.
Oh, you know what? Let's look this up. I've been reading something else. Let's see what this new $6 million is. Or $6 billion to Israel. All right. Israel seeking 20-year America First security agreement with U.S. report. What? I mean, this is okay. So I've been waiting for this to take place. So Trump is set to sign the next memorandum of understanding. The memorandums of understanding typically last 10 years. Not typically, but always. It's every 10 years. The president at the time, the president in the 6th year, whatever the 6 is, 6, 16, 26, signs whatever that is, signs the memorandum of understanding, laying out what Israel will receive from the United States for the next 10 years. Obama signed the last one in 16, and that was guaranteeing Israel $38 billion over 10 years, $3.8 billion a year. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by my wife. With two stipulations at the time, right? The two stipulations were that the money was this thing is so insane because they're doing it with Ukraine as well. They're still using this narrative that we give them money so they can buy weapons from us, so that they can hide from the American people that the United States is funneling military supplies into these regions, into Israel, into Ukraine. Some would say put a J on the front of that, Ukraine, if you really wanted to know what's going on. And that's why we're involved in the first place. There's nobody else that we give a shit about like we do Ukraine for some strange reason. Like it's it's really shocking. And so they had this stipulation that Israel wasn't to use the money to make their own weapons. They had to use it to buy weapons from us. And then second stipulation was that they weren't allowed to ask for any more money until this 10 years was up, which is just ridiculous. However, it didn't quite go into effect right away. And it's hard to track exactly how it worked out because I think even Biden signed a version of it. Like I know Trump was dealing with it to 18, 19, and then even 20, I think Biden signed something, but it was the same deal except for the stipulations. They said that Netanyahu had two concessions. He had to make some concessions with that, had to use it for American weapons and blah, blah, blah. But those two concessions were now removed, and in place was that the United States would keep a cache of weapons in Israel for emergency purposes that Israel was allowed to access anytime they needed to, and that we would just maintain it being full. And if you actually remember a couple years ago when we were trying to give Ukraine some ammunition or whatever, some shells, and they went to those Israel coffers, that Israeli cache, that stash they had, and it was empty, and it was a big deal. But then it just went away. It just disappeared. So this is Israeli time. The Times of Israel is put this out saying Israel is seeking 20-year America First security agreement with U.S. America First? By America First, we have to give them money? Israel is angling for a 20-year security agreement with the U.S. with America First elements, U.S. media reported on Thursday, a deal that would be broader in scope than past pacts and would last until the 100th anniversary of Israel's independence. Jesus. The current 10-year memorandum of understanding between the two countries, the third such agreement signed, expires in 2028. Signed under the Obama administration, it includes around $4 billion of aid to Israel annually, a cash payment paid in the first fiscal month of every year. And because it's not a treaty or it's not a grant or anything like that, because it falls under this memorandum of understanding bullshit, it means it's not monitored in any way. It's just cash we give to them, and we're like, okay, you better be good. And they go, fuck you, we'll do what we want. We go, okay, that sounds great. With growing skepticism around foreign aid, including to Israel, the Republican Party, amongst those who subscribe to U.S. President Donald Trump's largely isolationist America First policies, the next MOU faces challenges that the previous ones did not. And so what they're trying to do is lock, because they know that we are getting sick of them. So somehow if they can lock us into a 20-year program, we wouldn't be able to get out? Is that what their thoughts are? Because they're worried about the next generation coming to power. And so I guess they think it'll take about 20 years before they can bring us back around to being little goyim. Wow, that's pretty scary. What do you think they have planned? Discussions on the next MOU. Jesus, I just was talking about this like yesterday or the day before. I was just talking about when are they going to get this underway, and I wonder, oh, wow. On the next MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, began in recent weeks, according to the Axis report, which cited Israeli and U.S. officials after a long delay because of the war against Hamas in Gaza. Israel proposed a 20-year deal that would end the country's centennial in 2048, and to appease those opposed to aid, it would allocate some of the funds for joint R&D rather than direct military aid, Axis reported. So they're saying if we change the name of it, those dumb goyim won't know any better. So we were saying it was military aid, but now we're going to say it's for joint R&D. Either way, we're giving them money. And again, they say it's military. It's cash. Military aid comes later with all of the equipment and shit we give them. Because we give them way more than $3.8 billion a year. Just way, way, way more. Just think, the Secure Community Network here in the United States, just one of many, many three-letter ABCJ organizations, raises and distributes. By the way, the Secure Community Network connects 90% of them here in North America. 90% of the friars are connected through the Secure Community Network. They raise and distribute $2 billion annually to their community here in the United States. It doesn't benefit anyone else. It's for them. And it's through grants and all kinds of other government bullshit. Like it's just fucking insane. It's fucking insane. You wanna really blow your fucking mind, spend an afternoon looking into the Secure Community Network, SCN. It will blow your fucking mind. The projects touted would be in defense tech, The projects touted would be in defense tech, defense-related AI, and Trump's Golden Dome missile defense project, among others, an Israeli official told Axios. You know, because we have such a threat of missiles hitting us all the time, right?
Lord, they don't warn you about it. Yeah.
This is out-of-the-box thinking, an Israeli expert or official told Axios. We want to change the way we handled past agreements and put more emphasis on U.S.-Israel cooperation. The Americans like this idea. Are you fucking kidding me? However, Prime Minister bitch-ass motherfucking piece of shit Benjamin Netanyahu denied the report in an interview with Australian TV host Aaron Molan. I don't know what you're talking about. My direction is the exact opposite, he insisted. Oh, yes. Oh, that's what they always say, dude. They always talk about how they are, you know, on the verge of independence and no longer needing, we want to be free from any sort of American influence by in the next 5 years. Let's see what he has to say. I think it's time to ensure that Israel is independent. I understand that our military aid is like a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of what the U.S. spent in Afghanistan or spent in the Middle East. Do you see? What about that over there? Well, what about that over there? No, it's not. It's not a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction, you tiny, tiny, tiny piece of shit, man. This motherfucker is so awful. He is so fucking awful. I cannot believe that anybody still falls for this bullshit. Why would you ever want to believe anything this fucking piece of shit has to say?
Hello?
It's just insane. It's a tiny, see, I mean, if you were telling the truth, you wouldn't need to exaggerate to like push your point. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction. Can you imagine saying that in a sentence? So I was talking to this guy, right? And he was like, hey, check this out. And he showed me, and I was like, hey, that's a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of that thing you got there. Nobody fucking talks like that. Hey, that's a tiny fraction of what the U.S. spent in Afghanistan or in the Middle East. What are you talking about? Just because they're giving us a whole bunch of military, it's been trillions. Israel's been the largest recipient of military aid forever, and they get more than everyone else combined. This man is just a liar. He just, he's a very, very typical friar. Very typical friar. They lie. So then he says it again. It's that understand that our military aid is like a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of what the U.S. spent in Afghanistan or spent in the Middle East. It's tiny. He says it again. It's tiny. But I think that we have a very strong economy. We have a very strong arms industry. It's true that even though we get what we get, which we appreciate, 80% of that is spent in the United States. It produces jobs in the United States. But nevertheless, I'd like to see much more independent Israeli. I'd like to see a much more independent Israeli and an even more independent Israeli defense industry. I mean, literally, it's just like the dumbass that was here earlier with the technology. It's more of, oh yeah, we've produced 80% of the money that we give to Israel is used to produce jobs here in the United States, is what this motherfucker just said. At the same time, Trump is signing an emergency $6 billion aid package to Israel. Which part doesn't make sense? Who seems like the liar here?
The child she's
Trump was referred publicly to has referred publicly to the billions in aid giving to Israel during both of his terms. In 2018, he dismissed concerns that pulling U.S. troops out of Syria could endanger Israel. You know, we give Israel $4.5 billion a year, and they're doing very, very well defending themselves. If you take a look, he said, "Oh, I bet that made them mad." During a rocky White House visit in April, Trump brought it up again as Netanyahu listened beside him. "Don't forget we help Israel a lot. We give Israel $4 billion a year. That's a lot." Who talks like these people? U.S. aid agreements are seen in Israel as key to helping it maintain its qualitative military advantage over potential threats. Qualitative military advantage is in quotes. Do you understand what qualitative military advantage is? So, qualitative military advantage is something that only exists for Israel. But it says that Israel is to have the largest military in the region by an arbitrary percentage, that they decide that their army is supposed to be X percent better than any other army or military, whatever. And so if another country works out, this is all looped in together, right? So Donald Trump spent a huge part of 2016 15, 16, you didn't even know, or 2000, 2017, 18, apparently on trips to the Middle East that we didn't know about, where he was brokering what are called the Abraham Accords. And the Abraham Accords are what's called normalization deals. And normalization deals are you can't actually find a definition for what the normalization deals are. But from what I can tell, a normalization deal is that X country agrees that Israelis are allowed to travel to and from that country without any sort of visa or any sort of issue anywhere. And you know, they're like all have diplomatic immunity, but they're all, you know, there's no issue for Israelis to travel to and from there. It's supposed to be the same for the other country back for their people going to Israel, but that's just not the case, and everybody knows it. And the main thing being that if Israel, that whatever country it is will stay out of any sort of Israeli business. So if Israel is, let's say, I don't know, attacking the Palestinians based on some bullshit false flag, that Muslim country will stay out of it, like you've seen with all of them, including Saudi Arabia, which is strange, but that's a different subject. It's the same subject, but it's just a different piece of it. So in order, to sign these military agree or to sign these normalism agreements, to get into the Abraham Accords, Trump then offers these countries, we'll give you, X amount of money each year. We'll give you so when people talk about these $3.8 billion that Israel gets each year, it's actually a lot more because we have to pay all these other countries each year for their including in the Abraham Accords. The pay money so that they play nice with Israel and turn their back on anything Israel does. And so we are the middleman and also the funders, and we get nothing out of it. Israel gets all of the advantage, strategically. The leadership of those countries, like when FIFA or when World Cup was in Qatar or Qatar or however the fuck you say it, and you saw it just repeatedly that The Israelis would do these ambush interviews where they would find people celebrating, having a good time, and they'd come up and be like, "Yeah, celebrate soccer, yeah. Hey, I am Israel. What do you think of Israel?" And the people would be like, "What? What? Get the fuck out of here." The people wanted nothing to do with them. But the Israelis wanted to be able to go to World Cup. So the Qatari leadership signed their normalization deal, which benefited them tremendously. They get whatever they want. However that worked out, that the leadership gets money, they get equipment. And one of the things that how it all works together is, so say to get Bahrain to sign their, this is a thing, they to get Bahrain to sign their normalization deal, the U.S. It was to give them, I don't know the exact number, but say the U.S. gave them 20 F-35 fighter jets so that they would play nice with Israel. Because of the qualitative military advantage, us giving them 20 F-35 fighter jets means we also have to give Israel, us giving them 20 F-35 fighter jets to play nice with Israel also means we have to give Israel 35 F-35 fighter jets to balance out the qualitative military advantage. Because we gave Bahrain these 20 jets, well, we got to give Israel jets. These things exist in our reality. They're not things that are voted on or even talked about. This is the Times of Israel talking about this. This isn't some New York Times talk. Hey, Goyim, pay attention. They're voting on how much of your tax dollars we're going to give Israel. It's going to lock them in for 20 years, maybe. This is all hidden. This is all the stuff that you're not supposed to pay attention to. This is why I get censored to bejesus, and I need your help. You need to share this shit. People need to know that this is going on. This isn't my conspiracy theory. This is what it says. Oh, fuck. You gotta switch with me, chubby girl.
You guys don't.
My shit's dying. I gotta. Sorry. I can't go far. Okay, so the qualitative military advantage over potential threats. The U.S. has either jointly developed or financed all three tiers in Israel's missile defense system. Made up. Did you know about this? This is really, really important. It's kind of surprising to see them actually putting it all in one piece like this, but this is how dumb they are. They think that, they think saying if you open up the books in Israel, you demonize Israel, makes them look like victims, right? It doesn't expose what shitbags they are. Because if you open up the books on me, it's not going to demonize me. So you have the Iron Dome for short-range missile interceptors, David's Sling medium range, and Arrow long-range system. I always remember Iron Dome and Arrow. I always forget about David's Sling. I won't forget it now. David's Sling. Biblical shit. It's biblical. Because, they're David fighting against the Goliath that is against them. And this is all bullshit. It's bullshit, right? They don't actually have these things. They do to a degree, but nothing, nothing that something like Iran can't overcome. Because Iran proved pretty substantially that they could hit Israel. Missile defense technologies developed in Israel using U.S. funds are available to U.S. defense contractors involved in the development. So this is how they're going to justify this, is by scaring you. You're in so much danger. You know how the U.S. is always in so much danger because we've been attacked so many times. Got to have a missile defense system. Not the big fucking water. The U.S. committed to providing billions in military assistance to Israel and Egypt each year when they signed their 1979 U.S. brokered peace treaty. Right. So, to get Israel to play nice with Egypt, to stop attacking Egypt, we offered to give them billions of dollars. We also probably had to give Egypt billions of dollars. Why would the U.S. be over there brokering a peace deal between those two countries? We don't do that for anybody else.
Right. Yeah. All right.
While the U.S. aid once made up a significant chunk of Israel's military spending, it has significantly declined as a percentage in the recent years as Israel's economy has flourished. Well, no, it hasn't. I mean, maybe it's a smaller percentage of like the only money they have or the only money they get. Because again, not only do they get money from us, they get it from everyone else too. It's okay. Um, under the 2025 budget of the defense, under the 2025 budget, the defense ministry's budget alone swelled to a record NIS, that's Israel money, 110 billion, 29 billion US dollars out of a total defense budget of $36.9 billion. Under the defense ministry's budget alone. I don't understand what that even means. This doesn't make any sense. Under the 2025 budget, the Defense Ministry's budget alone swelled to a record $29 billion out of a total defense budget of $36.9 billion. So the Defense Ministry gets 29 out of the $36 billion. And that's supposedly small. Like, that whole article is just backwards as fuck. Oh, shit. I don't know what the fuck just happened there. It didn't work. I knew that's what happened. I accidentally hit the button a little bit. Trump administration plans 6.4 billions in weapon sales to Israel, sources say. I mean, that's all part of the bullshit, right? Oh, look, you're flying the flag. There you go. I'm giving you what you want, you fucking pedophile coward. He wanted it, he got it. Pedophile coward. He wanted his messages deleted, so he got his messages deleted. I'm okay with it. These fucking pedophiles are all over the place. Exclusive. U.S. plans $6 billion new arms sale to Israel. Let's do this. Let's check out what the AP News has to say. The Trump administration has told Congress it plans to sell nearly $6 billion in weapons to Israel, a fresh surge of support for the U.S. ally as it faces increasing isolation over its war in Gaza. Just listen to what that's like. Do you know how much effort went into that first sentence? This article is written by two people, Michelle Price and Matthew Lee, both of which are them. To sell Israel $6 billion, which is bullshit. Again, that's just Where are they getting that $6 billion to buy the weapons from? More than likely, we're selling them weapons with grants that we have set aside to facilitate giving. Or I would love to know where that money's going to come out of. But I won't get it. And then a fresh surge of support for a U.S. ally as it faces increasing isolation over its war in Gaza. It's genocide in Gaza. Increasing isolation. Because nobody likes them and likes what they're doing. Did you not get it? It includes a $3.8 billion, exactly 3.8 again, huh? $3.8 billion sale for 30 AH-64 Apache helicopters, nearly doubling Israel's current stocks, and a $1.9 billion sale for 3,200 infantry assault vehicles for Israeli army. Infantry assault vehicles for Israeli army, according to a U.S. official and another person familiar with the proposal who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss plans that have not been made public. Gee, isn't that strange? It's another person with anonymity and blah, blah, blah. Do you not get it? The weapons would not be delivered for 2 to 3 years or longer. So then what's the emergency? The huge sales come as U.S. plans to broker an end to the nearly 2-year war between Israel and Hamas. End to the war between Israel and Hamas have stalled. And after, plans to broker an end, have stalled. And after Israel's strike on Hamas leaders in Doha, Qatar, drew widespread condemnation among U.S. allies in the Middle East. The U.S. has kept up its support despite growing international pressure on Israel and attempts from a growing number of U.S. Senate Democrats to block the sale of offensive weapons to Israel. The State Department declined to comment on sales, which were first reported by the Wall Street Journal. Can you imagine if they actually polled the people? I think if they polled the people and they said, everybody come out to the polls and vote. We need to vote on should we continue giving money to Israel. What percentage of the people do you think would come out and say yes? I would be willing to bet that thing, if we were allowed to vote on it as the citizens of this country, I bet it would fail by 90%, 95%, 98%. I mean, if they all came out and voted, they make up 2% of the American population.
Yeah, but then you have their supporters, so you have to give that another 2%.
I'd be hard pressed to see that, but so maybe 95%. I bet you would see a 95%, but that's saying all of them come out. And I'm sure a large 90% of them would come out to vote for this, of all eligible.
Well, is it their machines that are used to do the counting?
Of course it is.
So then you have to add the fluff.
Of course.
So 7%.
Yeah. You would get they would get no supporters. 1 viewer plus 1 ban equals no viewers. Yeah. Except for the fact there are multiple people commenting. So guess you can't really trust the number that you're being shown, can you?
What about you? You're viewing. You don't count?
Well, it's a fucking... Let's see.
You matter too.
Let's see. It's somebody that joined a month ago with no subscribers. I'm sure that's a real profile. Aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Joined a month ago. Just so you can watch me. Because, I blocked whatever profile you were using before this. And because, it's really, really normal for people to get blocked and then make fake profiles so they can watch one person. Like, think about it. Think about the fact that you have, you make a profile, right? Your profile. And your profile has been your profile for all this time. It's got all your tendencies. It knows what you like. You know, you have all the people that you are subscribed with and all that stuff. And then one random guy that gets no viewers, 5 viewers now. One random guy out of Detroit somewhere talking shit, saying nothing. Because everything I'm saying is crazy and wrong. Because of that one guy, you're like, fuck, I'm going to make a whole new profile. Does that even make sense? Do you realize how ridiculous that is? How important I must be to you for you to go through that? That's fucking silly. And it only points to them, right? Planning for the Fourth Reich, yeah. Nothing has worked in the past, so I'm not doing anything from the past. If it had worked, we wouldn't be here. Somebody did a picture of Hitler and Netanyahu overlay, you know, where you do the like transition from one to the next. Boy, are those people similar looking. They look similar, sweetheart.
That's disgusting.
Not as much as Netanyahu and Wallace Fard Muhammad, of course, the founder of the Nation of Islam, the black Muslims. Because that's what makes the most sense, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
The militant. I always used to look at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and be like, he does not look like a black guy. Why are all these like super militant black guys following this guy? Can I see that? Who looks like he's, you know.
Okay, so the Arab guy liked black women, and he would find these subservient black women.
Who?
The dude that founded the Nation of Islam.
He wasn't Arab. Oh, yeah. Well, we don't know what he was.
Whatever he was. Not white, not Chinese, not Samoan, okay? Of Middle Eastern descent of some sort. Whatever. Brown.
It's pronounced brown.
Brown. He had a preference for black women, subservient black women. So that's what he would find. These black men would be like, oh my gosh, how'd you get her to listen so well? This is how you do it. And the Nation of Islam is born. For black men.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's much more than that.
He liked himself some black booty.
I think we don't understand how manufactured the narrative is. And that if you're presented with the narrative, you believe the narrative. You know, you always wonder, like, why is Farrakhan in the White House, you know, or at all these big functions on TV, yada, 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 if they don't like him? Are you telling me that I'm so much smarter than a century of Hollywood that I know that if you show someone on TV, good or bad, that's going to bolster them? You telling me they haven't figured that out yet? So they've just been accidentally showing him? I mean, it's you just... You're the type of person that believes the president is sitting behind his desk, you know, crunching numbers and shit, right? Betty, I burned out another calculator. Can you give me a new one, please? Yes, Mr. President. You sure are busy crunching all those numbers. Quiet, Betty. I got work to do. Yes, Mr. President. Like, that's what you think? It's all there. I mean, it's just why, like, $6 billion worth of shit. The new memorandum of understanding, like, seriously, it's so funny to me to read it out, to see it, because I've been trying to tell you guys about this for such a long time that it's now coming to fruition. Trump is we're getting to the time where the new memorandum of understanding is to be signed to decide how much Israel gets each year. You know, that secret little bit legislation that's put through. And Israel is wanting to extend it to a 20-year program instead of a 10-year program. So it can coincidentally end on the 100th anniversary of Israel's independence. Like, it's if you don't think it's theater by now, I just don't know what to tell you. And they have to, like I say, they have to secure the 30-year deal because there's no way, or the 20-year deal, because there's no way we're going to continue to support them. And I wonder how they're going to be able to lock it in so it can't be reversed or some shit, you know? I mean, just think about, like, you had a grandparent, right? And your grandparent was really, really smart. And they could always get into political conversations and all that. And why? Because they would read the paper every day and they would watch the news at night. But basically, they only read the one paper. They only watched the one news channel. You can't watch all the news channels at once. People didn't have multiple TV setups back then.
But coincidentally, all you had to say was, did you see the news last night? Did you see the story on? And everybody always said yes. Whether they watched 247, 20.
Right.
Like,
But even still, and I'm going to get to this in a minute, but you got, you know, they get us to this point where we, like, religiously, like, it almost becomes like our programmed team defense, where if you watch channel 2, you watch channel 2. Fuck those other crazy newscasters, blah, blah, blah. But Angela worked at a company when she was younger that would transcribe the broadcasts, right, for lawyers. So
of TV news.
Right. So they would say, because if they had, like, a, you know.
So we had a water main break in one of the richer cities, and there was a suit to sue the cities or the city for it or whatever. So all of the attorneys involved in the lawsuit called us for transcriptions of every story done on that water main break. So we had to listen to hundreds of stories of about the water main break.
Horrible job.
All the stations, and type out everything the newscasters said about the story.
And what she said is that time and time again, it would be the exact same fucking story. Word for word, other than maybe like a couple of ad libs here or there.
You could always tell the new people at that place, because in the beginning, when you would get those assignments, you'd start laughing. Because after listening to the story, you just start laughing because, you know, so when you would hear people, because everybody's wearing headphones listening, you'd hear people randomly laugh. Oh, that's a newbie. After
they just figured it out.
Yeah, you know, like, oh,
they just figured it out.
Crazy, it's the same shit. Didn't I just hear this?
Right. And that shit, you know, financial motivated moves may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. You've seen that video.
Yep.
There's several videos online where they've talked about this. They've clipped it and shown you the newscasters. The one about misinformation on social media is hilarious, because it's like, you know, there are people online that are talking about things, and whatever you do, don't trust those people. You can't trust those people. Those people aren't a reliable source like we are,
Right.
because we're giving you the straight story without any sort of interference or influence from anyone. And they're all saying the same fucking story,
Exact same story.
word for word, in like similar positions, and like with the similar emphasis, breaths, and all that shit.
Yeah, like they're coached on.
Exactly. They're pros. So as they're reading the teleprompter, say certain words are in red or whatever, that means, you know, put emphasis on it, or they know. They know what to do. I mean, it's you just have to understand that it's all a manipulation. There is no reliable source. You know, people say, well, what do you use for your information? I use Wikipedia. Why? Not because I think Wikipedia is the truth, because Wikipedia is the truth that they want us to have. That's the stuff that they say. This is the official truth. It'll be on Wikipedia. Go look. Goyim, you want to know something? Here it is. This Wikipedia article is a summary of these multiples. You know, they'll show the resources down at the bottom, and you can go read the links to the stories or whatever. I want to know what they want us to know, and what they want us to know is it's the same regardless. Not only is it the same story on every news channel, but it's the same undercurrent throughout everything. And until we realize, like,
Shut up and go to work. Never mind what we're doing.
go to your church. Like, it's so scary because there are so many. Like, I see it all over the place. I see videos on Instagram where you have like protesters protesting government officials who support Israel, and, you know, asking certain government officials if they're walking somewhere, hey, Israel first or the United States or US first, America first. You know, trying to get these guys to talk, and then it'll post up their APAC contributions and all that shit. But undoubtedly at some point they mention, you know, Jesus or God or some. There is this, like, why do people think that they have influenced our government, our TV, you know, our lives in every way possible, but not the Jesus story where literally Jesus is a Jew? Like, what? How are people still falling for this? How is the awakening not including the foundation? You can't wake up to what's going on without seeing, you know, the foundation of it. And like guys like Nick Fuentes, who is just as off-putting as humanly possible. He really is. He looks like he tries really hard, just like Trump, to quell his effeminate tendencies. You know, the way is like, there are lots of people that talk with their hands, but their hands go this way, not this way. You know, there are just weird little things that gay guys do. It's just fucking what it is. Like, you know, nothing wrong with it. It's just what it is. You know how, you know, black chicks do this thing with their, you know, yeah, there are white girls that do that, but that's a black girl thing. And again, there's no knock there. Just because you acknowledge something doesn't mean you knock it. It's not saying all black girls do it. Yeah. Nobody's saying all black girls do it, but it's a black girl thing. Just like the gay voice.
Hello.
Yeah, there are no straight men that have that voice. Hey, everybody. You guys ready to party and go get us some pussy? Oh, yes. I just can't wait to get some chicks all over my dick later. Ugh. Those bitches are going to be bent over, touching their toes. Like, no straight dude has ever said that. And if they have, everybody was like, yeah, right, Aaron.
Sure did.
Okay, Aaron. Who, by the way, turned out to be gay. Used to get so mad at everybody for calling him gay. And he turned out to be gay. Imagine the fucking the turmoil. Like that is just such a strange thing. None of us know that. You know. As a heterosexual, you just have no idea what it's like to feel any sort of shame regarding who you are sexually, as who you're attracted to, without your doing, without your wanting. You just are. To then be somehow convinced that there's something wrong with you,
It's so awful.
that's so fucking crazy. I can't imagine what it's like to deal with that. Like, that just has to be, like, congratulations to any gay person that's gone through that and not killed people because of it. You know, that would just make you crazy. That would make you bitter and mean, I would think. Make me that way, I'm sure.
Skeptical of everybody you meet and talk to.
Right. Put a huge chip on your shoulder. Maybe it's understandable why so many of them flip out so easily. To think that they have to deal with anything. But at the same time,
a
like,
lot of them, it's starting at home, which is more traumatizing
right,
than the public.
for sure.
If they're not accepted at home to begin with.
To think your dad's gonna hate you. You know, to watch him grow up making fun of gay people, oblivious to you obviously being gay. Like, there had to be some sort of subconscious effort on his end to try to do that if he was doing that. Which is what a weird, what an awful situation to grow up in. Thinking something is wrong with you for just being a little bit different. Like, I just, that's just fucking nuts. I don't know, man. I don't know how you do that to your kid. I don't know how you don't support your kid. Like, just weird. Be ashamed of your kid. You're ashamed of your kid. They know it. You might not say it, but they know it. And it's going to make them grow up fucked up. Always trying to fix some hole that they don't even know that they have. Or think that they have, where they don't. Hell yeah, I think Trump's gay. I think Trump is a gay meth head. Anybody else in the world, if you saw them while they were talking go every couple seconds, you'd be like, what the fuck are they on? Yeah, that's really good. I like him a lot. He's a good friend of mine. Like, he's fucking weird. And when he really gets going, watch his fucking hands. He has very effeminate tendencies. I don't think he's full-on gay or anything. I think he's just a full-on predator. But I think he does have a side to him that is very... I mean, it's dominating. It's dominating. That's what he clearly enjoys. And he likes kids, man. It's just so weird. It's so strange to me how somehow Trump has endeared himself to people that he hates. Trump doesn't like you. Random person on my feed. Donald Trump wants nothing to do with you, you flea. You plebeian. No.
Brother's not home, right?
Huh? After school? Dude, we got work to do. I'll be down in a minute. Don't know yet. We'll let you know. It's just fucking wild, man. I personally, like, wasting time on Trump is ridiculous to me. Melania's the power behind that throne. You know, you're finally starting to see people understand that Ghislaine was the power behind that relationship. Nobody's talking about Melania being the power behind the Trump throne, but she absolutely is. Imagine if Michelle Obama was as useless outwardly as Melania has been.
Oh my gosh.
Did nothing, helped no one, barely showed up, clearly didn't live with or support or love or anything her old man husband. Like the Obamas, the one thing that I can clearly see is that they dig each other. Like that, or they're really good actors, and you know, the Michelle is a man bullshit. I just think that's just more,
That's
you know,
so
racism kind of bullshit coming through. No other female first lady has ever been accused of anything like that before. That it's just more white disrespect, racism bullshit. But the reality is, the government is just more Hollywoodism. The whole structure, everything we see and experience, and all, it's all just bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's manufactured bullshit. And you know, when we get to a Nick Fuentes and a Ian Carroll that are talking about who the fuck made all these buildings and shit like that, like clearly there was some sort of reset that happened. You know, we have to talk about all of it. You can't just dismiss it because this is a crazy conspiracy theory. The same people that call your shit a crazy conspiracy theory are also calling this a crazy conspiracy theory. But you're going to do that. You know that's how they operate. If you can debunk it, then debunk it. Be smart. Ian Carroll, debunk Tartaria. Tell us who built the fucking Pentagon. I think I'm throwing you a fucking olive branch here. You know, it's one thing to be asking these obvious, you know, no answer questions about buildings made prior to 1900. But this one is late. This is like one of the later additions to the fucking catalog. And I want to know. Do you honestly think they built that shit? There are no photographs of it going up. No photographs of the before, and then, you know, at least before, like usually they would put up like partial pictures. They say they built it in sections, you know, and as one section would complete, the people would move in and they would build in the other section. That's what they say. There's no photos of any of it. What are we talking about here? We're not talking about compromising security, especially if you're talking about some faraway photos or some shit. But there is nothing. Nothing. 1941 to 43? And saying 43 is a joke because it's you know, January of 43. So it's barely 43. this doesn't matter at this point. Whether it's the Kirk narrative, or it's the president, or it's Israel, it's all the same shit. The Kirk narrative, I still want to know why nobody's done the effort that they've put into the Kirk narrative to try to do the same thing with the Trump shooting. Because nobody talks about that shit. There are no debunked videos. The only thing I can find is the military guys pretending like they debunk the ear getting shot. Because, the head doesn't come off. The ear blows to bits. Definitely doesn't look like the type of ear that could grow back like Trump seemingly has. But outside of that...
Cartilage grows back all the time. What are you, stupid?
Did you see that video? The military guy video? I don't think you did.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of videos.
No, not this one.
Oh, did I do it?
See if I can find it. I don't know where that video is anymore. Oh, there it is. All right.
Everybody's making fun of his ear bandage in his speech, saying like, "Oh, he's wearing a big bandage."
Someone kind of slapped you on the ear. I was just going to say, I'm actually personally surprised that it had that much temporary cavity, that much expansion.
Then it cuts. Hear that?
I don't... Where did... It's kind of crazy. See where it just great edge of the bullet. Yeah. Did I see a jiggle? Did you? Oh, I barely clipped the ear. I clipped it right on the side, not on the top. I clipped him, like, right there in the middle.
I have to look for, like, a vibration.
Oh, yeah, there it was.
So that was the one where it was nothing. So see, it just hits the ear and nothing happens, right? And they're like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, see, the head's still there.
Damn, that was like edge of the bullet. Yeah, I know. That was. I think we could get closer. Yeah, so I think he actually got hit right up here. The bullet impact was right there. You could see where it just grazed the very edge of like the middle of his ear. But we're gonna try to go for the meat.
What I find the most interesting is that the whole head is still there.
It's kind of crazy. I thought it would have disappeared.
Okay, so that guy. That's the guy. Keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, I think that was it. Oh,
Now
yeah,
watch.
that was
Watch.
the fucking money shot right there.
That's a perfect sim there.
How's his head still connected? I don't know.
How's his head still
I don't think
connected?
the bullet actually hit him. Like his neck's not broken.
Look, this is before they watch it in slow motion. Look at how.
Out of my name because I clearly don't understand them.
Right. Now watch when they watch it in super slow mo.
Would they say don't get
Oh.
your ears pierced to Claire's?
That's wild. Now look, watch. Skadoosh. Look at how much his shit blows apart. You see that?
Yeah.
Just blows the fuck apart. Now watch.
You can see the vibration. It feels like someone kind of slapped you on the ear.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, I'm actually personally surprised that it had that much temporary cavity, that much expansion.
Now they cut it.
The head is still
They cut off what else he had to say there. Now the sarcasm and his head's still there. I should take the ballistics out of there because I don't know what I'm talking about. Blah, blah, blah. That shit, that's all gone. Did you notice how the bravado left? And he was like, I'm surprised by how much temporary distortion there was. Meaning, holy shit, his ear should have been blown the fuck apart, hanging off. The shit was that big. And they didn't even show it go the full length. You notice how they only showed it expand? They only showed it expand and then went back in?
They hit too much of the ear. The actual bullet only grazed.
No, it was here. It was because of where it hit, not this flappy part like the first bullet. but it was when it hit the cartilage. The destruction is catastrophic. It's catastrophic. You know, that's just a jelly dummy, meaning you're not going to see all the blood. Like, his shit would have been, there would have been a huge spray of blood. Sure is
I was wondering where all the blood was, because
Well-
ears bleed.
sure is a good thing just before the shot. So the only main camera that you have is the one that's right ahead. He happens to look down like this. And somehow the shooter was over here to his like 1 o'clock. So when he looked down,
The magic bullet, the curves.
right, the bullet would have went through his
It was a
head. But
Kennedy
you haven't seen any sort of, you know, they haven't done a real big investigation, documentary, you know, Trump
The
shooting.
JFK bullet.
Well, the thing is, so because he just happened to turn his head, you can't slow the video down and see the actual impact of the bullet. Isn't that convenient?
Well, yeah.
The bullet happened to curve around his big fat fucking head. We aren't talking about a tiny little Melanangela style. We're talking about bigger than Guy's head. That dude's head is monstrous.
Monstrous. Gotta fit your big brain, baby.
He looks like Rocky. Doesn't Trump look a lot like Rocky? Rocky Dennis.
Who's Rocky Dennis?
Look him up. Why?
No. No. I know you.
No. Cher.
No.
Think of Cher.
Oh. That's not nice. Poor Rocky.
Poor Rocky. Looks like Trump. Right, his whole shit should have been blown to fucking bits, man. And there is no, and if his head is in fact turned and looking like this, the idea that the shots came from behind actually makes more sense. But he wasn't shot in the fucking ear. He dropped down and did a quick blade nick on his ear, and the blood smeared on his face a little bit. Like Angela said, the blood would have just been, if his shit was hit like that, where you saw it expand out like that, that's fucking veins and capillaries, and you got shit in there. I don't know how much, but
No, ears bleed.
your shit would just be baloosh. It would be pouring out. He definitely wouldn't be standing up, fight, I'm okay, fight.
This is awesome.
It is a nice vanilla. This one rivals the moon landing. Unfortunately, I know lots of people that believe both. Right. It was his Secret Service from behind. It was an accident. The bullet that went in was from an M16. At the time, only issued to Secret Service at 762 Crown. How would you know that? Like, what are you basing this on? Like, I'd love to know more. Also, Lee didn't hate JFK. He loved him. Oh, you're talking about JFK. Oh, because any comment you made before it was his Secret Service isn't there. So I don't know what else you said. You know, when it comes to Kennedy, for all that, it's just theater, start to finish. I don't know. Abraham Zapruder is Israeli fucking Mossad agent who just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and the Zapruder film is edited. Once you hear that it's edited, who gives a shit what you see? It was behind closed doors for like 12 years before we even saw any of it. So, nah. Who knows what we're looking at with that shit? You can't trust this shit. I wouldn't, See, this is where our arrogance kicks in. And this is where you have to be better than that. So instead of being arrogant and saying, I believe the system when the system says the earth is round. I believe the system when the system tells me George Washington and Ben Franklin existed. But when the system says Oswald shot Kennedy, especially because I can see with my own eyes, I don't believe that. I don't believe we went to the moon. I do believe in the Jesus they want me to believe in, though. I do believe in the Islam or the Christianity they want me believing in. Like, we have to be able to put all of it down and say, listen, it's all bullshit. Until we, well-meaning Goyim are in charge of the information distribution, we can't trust any of it. None of it. So don't even waste your time anymore. I mean, I do believe it's a it's a good read, it's a good listen to, it's good to get into it to a degree, but we have to, if you ever want the truth to any of it, we have to prevail first. Nobody knows what you're talking about. It was an accident. What? What was an accident? Well, waking up to this shit is key. Going halfway, like being a halfway guy. Well, I'm kind of awake to it. I only believe some of it. That's where your your ego is out of line and your arrogance is too strong. You should absolutely have a huge ego when it comes to the things you're actually good at. But when it comes to, knowing information about stuff you either haven't put any any sort of research into, or none, and even then, questioning the research itself, like the narrative that you're reading, you don't know it. You're just giving it. You don't know who's supplying the narrative, what their motivations are, anything like that. And then when you do know, you just sort of override it, like, oh, well. There was a reason why Robert Maxwell went out of his way to control as many education publications as he possibly could. He controlled the narrative. It's way easier to take somebody's word than to do your own research. Yeah, but it's not as fun. I don't know. To me, it's fun to look into it. It makes you feel smart. I don't know. When I'm reading this stuff and I'm like, this is the best, this is the narrative and it's this stupid. It's frustrating, but at the same time, it's a waste of time. Because it doesn't matter. We have to understand, I don't know, it's hard because, so it's things like the Havara Agreement. When you're looking at the Havara Agreement on Wikipedia, that goes against the narrative, and yet it's there. So when the thing goes against the narrative, it's different than it's just something that everybody sort of believes. When it's something everybody sort of believes, then why would there be a lie to it? But when it's the thing that goes against the narrative, and yet it's them that's putting it out there, and it still doesn't make sense, it still paints them in a bad light, that's sort of different. That sort of, strengthens the idea of it. Like, as much as they interfere and they present the narrative, it still paints them in a bad light. They have to sort of present it to us. So the best they could come up with still makes them look like shit. Well, that's powerful. If it was some sort of just flat out lie, then it wouldn't make them look bad. They would just leave that part out altogether. But a lot of times they think it makes them look good when it doesn't. And that's the part you need to focus on. Again, the you know, it's not. What are you talking about? See, just the idea that gay people and trans and all that would affect you in any sort of way. Like, why would you care? I hope gay people find each other, trans people find each other. I hope nobody gets beat up. I hope everyone's happy. You know, like, I don't understand why, in a world where we have pedophiles, why you would focus on LGBTQ, whatever. It just shows how fucking easily manipulated you are. And instead of us being this united front, they have us divided on so many different levels. You know, the people usually loudest against gays or whatever, those are the people that are the most likely to be completely ignored by gays. What's up, dude? Got a break? Right on. Hope everything's going well. One day you will learn to respect the friars in Israel. I doubt it. And what makes you say that? Do you have any sort of, like, what's going to make me respect pedophilia? What's going to make me respect the child rape, the molestation, the genocide? How does that work? How do you do it? How do you just overlook it and continue to show your support to what is clearly the worst elements of society? Come on, explain yourself. Don't just say blanket dumb shit that makes my argument for me. You are wrong. Because just like AI, you can't give me a single good thing that they contribute to society. You know? You can't tell me how there's a benefit to allowing them to steal from us. $6 billion? You understand how fucking crazy that is? They're buying that from us. Sure they are. Why would you want to be a part of such a horrible tradition? Listen, again, if there was this huge movement within the friar community and they were like, yeah, Matitza Bapay is wrong, we need to get rid of that shit. No, women's vaginas aren't disgusting. We need to get rid of that shit. And definitely 100% we need to get rid of this Israel Hayom bottom of darkness ritual sexual abuse that is everywhere in Israel. We need to get rid of that shit. If you saw that, then that would be something else. But the fact is, every time I bring it up, they are the first ones to say I'm lying and all this shit. So then when I provide the receipt, then they go, oh, well, so you're just going to believe something because it's just written down somewhere? Like, no, that's not the reason. It's a pretty significant piece. The YouTube is LGBTQ friendly. Yes. Whatever. Who gives a shit? They get free health care while ours is on the ropes. Everything was better before. Friarism and modern day Christianity. Well, we don't know. I know everything would be better without it. I can tell you that. So we don't know what was like before that. Because, you know, our perception of history is completely, totally, you know, manufactured and manipulated by them. If you haven't seen Hollywoodism yet, you're missing the point. And it's almost hard to accept it and understand it as easily without Hollywoodism. Like, as much as I'd been saying all these things to my wife for such a long time, she still had this, you know, this skepticism inside her. But when we sat down and watched Hollywoodism, like, multiple times, she was like, holy fuck. Like, what is going on here? And we would rewind it and watch the part again, and she would just be shaking her head like, what the fuck is... Now, Granted, she did fall asleep a couple of times.
What?
When we were watching Hollywoodism, you fell asleep a couple times. But the truth being expressed in that movie, it's like it's in code, but it's not. Like, it's pretty obvious what's being said throughout that movie. But it's still sort of like you have to be paying attention to really catch it. But they say everything. This is nothing more than gag propaganda. What the fuck does that even mean? I'm trying, Snuggie. Hollywoodism is like a study guide compared to what is being talked about here. It is a step in the water. No, you're right, for sure. For sure. But Hollywoodism can be done on your own terms. You know, you can't really affect what's going on here as much. Whereas Hollywoodism, you can rewind, you know, you can take it all in at your own pace. And it's the beginning. It's that piece that once you understand what Hollywoodism is saying to you, what I'm talking about makes a lot more sense. Whether you like it or not. You know, the last thing my wife wants to do in like a sort of in that Flintstones-esque, you know, narrative that we sort of live under is be like, yes, my husband is right about all of this. You know, one, because that would be the husband being right, but two, it's fucked up. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, that's the real reason. It's fucked up. Nobody wants to believe that. If you're a reasonable American, you've been taught your whole life, like, you're not supposed to discriminate against a people. You can't blame a people for the actions of a few. But the difference is, it's the majority. One, there's a lot more of them doing the bad shit than you realize. But two, they're not coming out against it. I can come out against it all day, and everybody can just hide behind, that's anti-Semitism. It's not until they come out and say the same things that those standard bullshit arguments stop working. And when they come out and say, look, we can be proud, you know, friars all day. We don't have to fucking penis. That's got to go. That whole thing's got to go. That's ridiculous. And all these children that are consistently reporting these crimes in Israel, and then the police are closing the case without it. Yeah, those voices need to be heard. The perpetrators need to be executed. I mean, let's just be real. Though I don't know how you do that. Right? How do you... You know, the people that are committing the crime, the violators, were at one time the victims and have been surrounded by nothing but constant propaganda that what they're doing is not only okay, but it's righteous. This is the Lord's work. This is the demand. This is how they get their transcendence. This is how they get their redemption. This is what was done to them. And by eliminating that, by exposing that and popping that bubble, so to speak, all of those victims have to reconcile with the fact that they weren't violated because they were special. They were violated because the people around them are sick. You know, the concept of them being special, even though it's thousands and thousands and thousands of children, I don't know how that many children can all be so special, at least in that regard. But if you take that away from them, that's the glue that's holding them together, is the idea that at least all that pain and suffering was associated with redemption and transcendence and all that biblical bullshit, or that Talmudic bullshit. You take that away, and that they're gonna break. A lot of them are gonna break, and that's too bad. I guess that sucks. But to me, at certain ages, you're responsible for your own actions. And if you were consistently violating children yourself, or facilitating the violation of children, especially if you're those pieces of shit that are flooding the market with child exploitation materials all over the dark web and whatnot, there's execution in your future, right? Why are you fighting with these idiots? I mean, if the thing is, until these trolls start actually addressing which things I'm lost my mind on, which things I'm wrong about specifically, all they're doing is desperately like treading water, just trying to keep their heads up. Oh, well, you're wrong about everything. It's just desperation. By the way, if you're watching, like, share, and sub. Help out. Help this channel grow back. Because, we were in the way thousands category. But the day of the Charlie incident, my shit was cut down to nothing, 1%. I was getting 30 views and shit, if that. Suddenly, out of nowhere, overnight. And I don't think it had to do with Charlie per se. I think it just was coincidental in that regard. Because around that time is when I really started to be like, hey, wait a minute, this Israel Hayom thing explains a lot more than we realize. He's an idiot. He has no common sense. Which part? You see how, like, now there's the desperate water treading, right? Now it's the name. He's an idiot. He makes no common sense. It makes no common sense to think we should eliminate pedophilia. Really? What sort of pedophilic mind thinks that way? Like, it's just a joke, right? It's so that if I'm so wrong and crazy and stupid and idiotic and all these things, why don't you just break down what I'm saying? That seems like the reasonable thing to do. I know me, I say what we're presented is idiotic and stupid and delusional and all that stuff. Do I then just leave it at that, or do I break it down? Do I look into everything I can and look and look and look and try to break it down and see who's behind it and break that down? Breaking down the argument is how you defeat the argument. Not being like, that argument's wrong. Like, can you imagine that shit? Can you imagine there's like a symposium or some shit? There's some sort of presentation going on, and then they have a Q&A afterward. And somebody all waits in line to ask their question. And they get up to the mic and they're like, hey, I just wanted to say you're wrong. And the guy was like, oh, okay then. What do you mean? What am I wrong about? Your house is stupid. What are you talking about? Your wife is dumb. And the guy's like, do you actually have like some sort of contribution to this? Yeah, you're wrong about everything you said. Like, well then, why are you even here? How come I've seen you at like 85 of my other lectures? If I'm wrong, why do you keep coming to these things. Jesus is Lord. Christ is King. Got him. You see what I did? I got him. Like, that's the equivalent of what you guys are doing. It's embarrassing. It's cringe as fuck. Let's see. This is entertaining. I love the idea that it's entertaining that I think we should kill pedos and overthrow the friars while engaging with my audience and asking those who talk shit to elaborate on what they're talking shit about, and then all they do is this. It's fucking goofy. If this is entertaining, you've never had fun before. You are correct. This is not entertaining. I mean, I guess I do make it a little entertaining. I throw in jokes here and there. Plus, I'm gorgeous. But outside of that, like, you know, this is an invite to an open forum where if you have something intelligent to say, we want to hear it. And for guys like Matt who have been here for quite some time, you know, who stumbled across this shit and then have been here for quite some time, isn't it telling and shocking that in all this time, nobody's actually really attempted to engage and tell me what I'm wrong about? Like, sometimes you might get the religious person that starts, you know, sort of pull cord nonsense coming out. But when it comes to this Israel stuff and this friar stuff and all that, not one taker. Kind of like the Make the Guy William Sucks video people, you know. That nobody takes me up on making a quick video about how shitty I am. I'll show it live where we can show your face because you're going to talk, not do the one video that did come out. Well, not the one of the videos that did come out. The 2 pages that made the exact, that posted the exact same videos. Each were like clips of, you know, minute long, whatever, some bullshit. But the one video was some 5 minutes plus that just had little 10-second clips of me saying this or that on multiple platforms. Not just here, but Facebook, Instagram, different platforms. Somebody had all of those little snippets time-stamped and saved in some sort of capacity that they could then write on them, like, you know, with the, you know, write on the message with whatever stylus or whatever they have, I don't know. While also, in between the clips of me, posting Israeli propaganda. 5 minutes plus of this. Like, the amount of effort it would take to make such a video is beyond something that I'm going to do, I'll tell you that. And I honestly couldn't do it. I don't have any person in this world's videos timestamped. I can tell you, at this time, he said this. Do you know how, like, insane that is? Literally, that's something that crazy people do. And then to pretend like that's the Guy William Sucks video I asked people to make. That's just like, that's as saying if you open up the books on Israel, you demonize Israel. Like, it's delusional. Who would ever think to make that video and then be like, look, I made the video. This proves you wrong. This video is going to prove that it's not a bunch of Israelis behind the scenes working together to make this shit happen. They weren't even smart enough to, like, hire a black guy or fucking some blonde-haired white guy or something to just pretend. Make a 30-second, you know, a minute-long video, 2 minutes, whatever, and put some effort in. Make it like 5 minutes. William sucks because he believes this, and he's wrong because of this, this, and this, and this, and he says this, but he's wrong because of this. Like, that would be amazing. I would absolutely love to see that video. And then, to prevent me from getting any sort of views from it, because, I just want you to go viral doing that, because you'll make a viral video. You're capable of making a viral video. So if you happen to make a video about me, that would be like Joe Rogan making a viral video about me. And that shit would go viral, and I would get all kinds of viewers from it. So to prevent that from happening, you could just delete it after I show it live on my feed. You could easily prove that you're a human being and that you disagree with me. And nobody's done it. So when it comes down to it, arguing with anyone here that's opposed to me, if they're not willing to make a quick video, they're not a real person. That, or they're not a real person outside of an Israeli. Most people are unreasonable, unfortunately. Just depends on how you put it to them, I guess. Oh, schizophreniac, we have it. Oh, we're watching a delusional schizophreniac. So here we go, mental issues yet again. If you speak out against anything Israeli, you have mental issues. Just like the auto-emancipation pamphlet said, it is a mental disorder. It's an irrational phobia. Paranoid individual is fun and entertaining. So you're saying that after, because I'm paranoid, that after this, you'll get out, after I'm done, you're going to find somebody that is paranoid and schizophrenic, find their feed, and then start prodding them and talking shit.
You're both. You're a paranoid schizophrenic.
Yes. You sound like an amazing person. I wish I was more like you. That I would go look for paranoid schizos and then try to upset them with stupidity, even though it backfired every time I said it. Because you're stupid. Like, I can't even imagine that that's what your life consists of and you think you're good? That sounds like a horrible life to me. I guess everyone else in chat is trolling apart from Matt. Yeah, usually. Remember when I said I was a Trump supporter? That was crazy. And yes, rarely anyone is serious about waking up or being honest anymore. It's not just that. They're here. They're doing a job. These guys have a job to do. They get their points for this. Remember act.il? For completing missions, leaders earned or members earned points, had their unlocked badges, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. Every time you engage with them, they get points, which, gets them a trip to Israel, gets them a new TV, gets them, who knows? Who knows what it gets them? But that's what they're doing. I'm just fed up with this world and people, including my own family. Nobody wants to wake up and keep living in their delusional bubble. Yeah, but you have to sort of be okay with that because they're all good people, right? If they're not friars, they're good people. And all it's going to take is something to shake them. You're planting all these seeds. Once they finally see it, the dominoes will fall all around them. The hardest part is that, especially with your family and friends, they've seen you piss drunk with your head in a toilet. They've seen you that one time you actually fell for that one thing and believed it for like a week. Remember when you came home and we're talking about David Icke and you were like, man, this lizard stuff is crazy. And they were like, okay, buddy. Like it's supposed to. Your family and friends are going to have a harder time hearing it from you than they would hearing it from someone like me. That's why you share my shit. Because I'm a different voice. They don't know me. And I make sense. We could be saying the exact same things, but because I'm not you, they're more likely to listen. Most would like to go with the lie so they don't have to admit they've been fooled. Exactly. Not just that they've been fooled, that they've put so much of their energy into being fooled. Especially people that consider themselves truthers and that they figured it out. I knew a guy once, actually had him come on the feed, and we were talking, and he was saying, yeah, he spent all these hours going through the government.org page, and he had found this one little thing. And I was like, dude, you're finding breadcrumbs in the bread factory. If you found it, it's because you were supposed to find it. There's nothing on government.org that they don't want you to know. There's not two nerds sitting there with government documents going, all right, should we upload this one? This one's kind of bad. And the other nerd's like, nah, you know what? Throw it away. And suddenly standing behind them is Freedom of Information Act, man. And he says, no, young citizens, do not eliminate that document. You must upload it in its entirety. I mean, you can redact anything that people aren't supposed to know. But, upload that shit. Okay, Freedom of Information Act, man. Like, that's not what's happening. Everything that you see is because they want you to see it. And so for people that are on the good side, and they're really trying to like be better, and they're like, man, I see this and I put all this time into looking into this, and it's like, well, what were you looking into? Where did that information come from? What do you mean? Well, you looked into that whole thing, but where did it come from? Who published it? I don't know. I didn't look into that. Well, there you go. And usually they're like, shut up, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. Because we've all been programmed to respond the same way whenever we're challenged. We attack that person. Everyone acts like your standard Christian. Well, you know what? It's just because you don't have access to the same information that I have. So if you just read this one book, it would make all the answers come true. And you're like, yeah, but I did read that book. And they're like, well, you just didn't understand it. Well, can you explain it to me? No. Oh, I am your favorite, that's for sure. No, exactly, it's fucking stupid. Has been feeling extra down and negative lately. Yeah, that sucks. It sucks. And it's hard not to. When you look around and you see what's happening and you see all the deception, especially when you see through it. When you're walking around with your They Live glasses on. It's hard. When those glasses are your eyes now. You can't even take them off. All you do is see. You can't help but see it. It's really difficult. That's what this whole feed is about, is letting us know that there's still us. And hopefully we keep growing, Hopefully the people that find that voice that they're looking for, that's saying all the right things, not some of the right things. A lot of people say some of the right things, and because, so many people say none of the right things, you're like, well, this person says some, so I guess I'm going to attach to them. But, like with Nick Fuentes, he says all the right things about Israel, but then he says horrible things about people of color, gays, women, everybody but white Christian males, Catholic males. Because he's a piece of shit. We have some Illuminati. This guy just said he believes in Illuminati, and on the paper, it said paranoid schizophrenic. Did you hear that? She looked down, and it was highlighted, and it said paranoid schizophrenic, and the guy was going, it's the Illuminati. You see how they do this to us? That's fucking hilarious. Exactly, that's a perfect analogy. Those glasses become our eyes, so we can't even take them off. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's like, look at all these dumb comments. Again, who else is going to be the opposition? You're telling me that there are non-friars, non-Israelis that will spend hours every single day watching me and begging for my attention, even though they hate me? Who are these weirdos? I'm gonna find that guy that thinks we should kill pedos and try to fucking interfere with him. Who does that? Who sets their alarm every day so they can be here? You know, it's one thing when you think, I found somebody, I found something that's true. Jesus, in this sea of shit, I finally found a glass of water. Like, that's one thing. But when it's, you know, I hate this guy. So why do you keep coming back? Why do you keep coming back day after day, hour after hour, month after month, being the example of who I'm talking about? TV show you just mentioned. I don't know what you're talking about. I forget which one I mentioned. Crazy, man. I got the Johnny Cockaroo. I'm gonna get you. Boom, bam, bam, bam. You just put Pawns in the Game by William Guy Carr. What about it? Elaborate. Goofy shit, man. Goofy people. Oh, look, we're gonna repost our stupid thing. Like it's a negative. Anyway, I'm getting tired. I'm here a lot longer than I wanted to be, so I appreciate everybody being here. Go check out the description. There's all sorts of links in the description. There's the link to the music, www.the-bilderberg.group.com. It's free to listen to. All we're asking you to do is share, check it out, like it, enjoy it. It's music like you've never heard before that makes you think. And it's music that makes you feel something instead of nodding your head. Niggas, bitches, hoes. Yeah. Have you nodding your head yes to the worst things imaginable? Oh, Eminem is the best because he says about how he's going to kill his wife. Yeah, he says that better than anybody else does. Yeah, he's awesome. Like, we're just so brainwashed and stupid. It's unreal. So go get your free download for something that'll actually make you feel something for a change. Go check out Hollywoodism. Link for Hollywoodism will be there. The link for the Israel Hayom Bottom of Darkness article is there. And that is the most important thing you can check out. It's going to be really difficult because for some reason the page will keep kicking you off and keep sending you to this Israel propaganda, how Israel destroyed Assad's navy or some shit page. But just do your best and read the whole thing. It really does explain how all of this is happening, how so many people can be so awful. It's just awful. It explains these dumbasses that come here. These are monsters who were raped as children. Then when they were still children at 13, when they became men and women, were then forced to rape children themselves. Imagine the monsters that creates, and it's an entire society of them. Israel Hayom will explain that to you. And that's, again, all of my receipts are not mine. Well, other than my stuff, but you know, the receipts I provide, the links I provide you to other things, that's all shit they want us to know. The Naftali Bennett link shows you that all the different Wikipedia links are what Israel wants us to know. because they taught Wikipedia how to edit things so that things would be balanced and Zionist in nature, according to Naftali Bennett. But go see it for yourself, then tell me what I'm wrong about. Go check everything out. Have yourself a great day. And most importantly, you pedophiles, you kill yourself.